Good afternoon, everyone. I see that no one is here yet. So while I'm waiting for folks to show up, I'm going to finish setting up and grabbing some content. So I will be right here when you guys pop in. But happy Monday to those that are watching, maybe on replay. Thank you for tuning in. I don't have a whole lot to say today. I do have a case that I came across, and this channel is not true crime, but every now and then you're going to come across something that just blows your mind. And I did. And holy crap. So I had to bring it up. It's from last year, but I had never heard of it. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit. But yeah, in the meantime, I will mute and I will wait and see if anyone shows up. And then after a few minutes, if no one does show up, I will just probably go ahead and end it and then go live later, but we'll see. Trying to see if my Nightbot is working. Oh, yep, he is. Okay, awesome. I don't know why I did that. Trying to drop some links here. But yeah, I am right now streaming on both of my channels. My main channel isn't really being used a whole lot right now, unless I have updates, like I said, of cases that I've covered. This case that I'm going to talk about today is just something that I came across. I'm not going to do a deep dive. I'm just going to kind of present the information. But it was just really disturbing. It was on my feed and I clicked on it and was just like, what in the world? And some of you may have heard of it. So it's the case of Timothy Ferguson. And his mother basically was sentenced to life in prison with no chance of parole or anything. She was the things that she was doing to this 15-year-old, her 15-year-old son, is unfathomable. She had her oldest or older son kind of helping. She had cameras in the home and she would like assess the situation from afar and give the older son commands of what to do to this 15-year-old. He did have special needs. So it's like, how can a mom do this to her child? It's sickening. But I might go ahead and show that so we can get that going. I have this site that I was going to share. So on here it says what happened to Timothy Ferguson, unveiling the tragic tale. Witness, neglect, and torment, and the pursuit of justice in the face of unspeakable evil. Like I said, this is a horrible story. Let's see. So, Timothy Ferguson was born in 2007 in Michigan. A 15-year-old boy with autism was homeschooled due to his autistic disabilities. His mother's name is Shanda Vander Ark, and he has a 20-year-old brother named Paul Ferguson. Paul Ferguson is the one I was telling you about that the mother, this is the mother, she would have Paul check in, quote unquote, on Timothy. And yeah, let's just continue reading. Okay, so his disability, and I can't see chat right now, I apologize. Timothy Ferguson, a bright spark despite his autism, faced unique challenges in a household where homeschooling became the norm. With his older brother Paul juggling the roles of both a high schooler and a caregiver, and his mother, Shanna Vander Ark, shouldering the family's financial burdens, Timothy's upbringing was anything but ordinary. In a world where every day presents new hurdles, Timothy's family navigated the complexities of autism with love, resilience, and a touch of humor. I find this so hard to believe. Maybe when he was younger, but what I've learned, the things that she's done since he was 15. And again, I just came across this morning. I might not have a lot of answers to questions that you might have. For instance, I don't know when it all started. I'm kind of just, like I said, just kind of skimming this case. Timothy Ferguson, a teen with chemical imbalances and discourse impedances, was unfortunately tormented and starved to death by his mom, Shanda Vander Ark, and his sibling, Paul Ferguson. He got through unbelievable maltreatment, including being compelled, excuse me, including being compelled to rest in a storage room under the steps, denied food and water, exposed to cold showers. And they really use a vague term here because no, he was given ice baths. He was giving ice baths of sometimes up to 4 hours. Constrained speech and having broad actual limitations. Timothy's experience ended in his demise. Parchedness, unhealthiness, and hypothermia because of persevering abuse by his relatives. So this is a younger picture of Timothy. In a sad story eclipsed by unspeakable savagery, Timothy Ferguson's life turned into a frightening story of disregard and torture coordinated by those intended to safeguard him, those that were supposed to love him. Naturally introduced to an existence where security and empathy ought to have been guaranteed, Timothy's world was defaced by the vindictive activities of his relatives. As though torn from the pages of a dim spine chiller, Timothy's victimizers were, as a matter of fact, his mom, Shanda Vander Ark, and his more seasoned sibling, Paul Ferguson. Compelled to persevere through unfathomable repulsions, Timothy's enduring turned into a grotesque ensemble of misery, coordinated by Vander Ark and Paul. From being restricted to a storage room under the steps, denied necessities, and exposed to obtuse treatment, Timothy's presence was a bad dream in bodily form. The savagery caused by Timothy reached out past the actual domain, with Vander Ark and Paul carefully organizing a mission of mental torture. Through observation cameras and savage orders they stripped away with little similarity to respect remained. So that's kind of like a little background. So the mother was sentenced to life in prison after starving and torturing her son. In a court show fit for the big screen, Shanda Vander Ark, named the vomiting defendant, recognized the cold, hard reality of her shocking wrongdoings against her child Timothy. The Michigan mother, indicted for homicide for the painful starvation of her 15-year-old child, got a lifelong incarceration that reflected the seriousness of her activities. So, yeah, one of the main scenes, I watched this one earlier. I'll see if I can find it, but she was shown photos of her child before he passed away. He was basically skin and bones. You could see his ribs. He was severely malnourished. When she saw these photos, she started vomiting in the courtroom. Let me see if anybody's in chat. Hi, Sipping on Fire. Welcome in. Yeah, so had you heard about this case, Sippin? Because, like I said, it was in my feed and it was so random. I had never heard of it, and to hear about it was just like so heartbreaking. Yeah, it was ice baths. He was tortured. He was forced to stay awake, like to fight his sleep. He had to just stay awake. It's sickening. Okay, let me. So I found this one on TikTok. I haven't gotten a chance to watch it. I think it's just clips. But and like I said, I had watched a bunch earlier, but we're gonna see what this one is.
This killer mom can't handle facts. Take a look as she vomits after being shown pictures of her autistic child that she murdered. Watch as this remorseless parent is presented with evidence of her own crimes that even she herself can't stomach.
Let's start there. This is at 3 o'clock in the morning. You're saying he is not allowed to go to sleep, right?
Yes, sir.
So 3 o'clock in the morning, your 15-year-old child is not allowed to be sleeping. And if he does, he gets an ice bath, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I don't know what I did. But that. So he's not allowed to go to sleep. Sorry if my mic is making noises. I'm moving it around. He's not allowed to go to sleep. He was very sleep deprived. And if he did, then he had to get. That was his punishment. Was ice baths. Yeah, I watched some of the trial, but it was hard to listen to. Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, I've watched a bunch of clips from the trial of her testimony and some of the brother Paul, but oh wow, this is just so horrible. It's sickening.
This depraved mother is on trial after she tortured her 15-year-old son, Timothy Ferguson, who had autism with speech and motor impairment, by feeding him only bread covered in hot sauce, depriving him of sleep, and forced him into ice baths as punishment.
Paul leaves work.
I want to point out the fact that she gave him sandwiches of this hot sauce, and it wasn't just an ordinary hot sauce. It was like the Carolina Reaper something, like one of the hottest freaking sauces. So you don't feed him, but as a punishment, you're going to give him a piece of bread with this hot sauce on it. That is sickening.
He'll get another ice bath and then another one when you get home. So 2 ice baths in addition to the one he's already had, right?
If that's what it says.
And that's for the crime of sleeping.
Watch as this prosecutor picks apart this killer's testimony and uncovers the pure evil that tormented young Timothy for his entire life. The Michigan law clerk vomited in court after she was shown horrifying pictures of her emaciated, disabled son, whom she starved to death.
So at this point on May 9th, you're saying that Timothy needs to be watched if he goes everywhere except to the bathroom, right?
He needs to be watched, yes, sir.
For committing the crime of what?
44-year-old Shanda Vander Ark was on trial for the murder and torture of Timothy, who died at their home on July 6, 2022, weighing just 69 pounds.
I mean, that alone speaks freaking volumes. He weighed 69 pounds when they found him. And maybe Sipping on Fire, if you watch some of it, I mean, like I said, I didn't deep dive it. I have been staying away from true crime because of this kind of thing, and it was on my feed. But I'm interested in like what alerted authorities to the home. Like, how did all of that go down? You know what I mean? Like, I'm very curious about that. But I am thankful that this mother, if she wants to call herself that, is serving time for what she's done to him. And I also found another article today that said a year after a teen was found tortured to death, the mom and the brother await trial. Okay, so the brother also went on trial, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know what his sentencing was. Yeah, Carolina Reaper peppers are freaking hot. It's so sad. Let me take down the comments. Easy covered it. His death is why the authorities got involved. So, like, who called in the authorities? That's what I was wondering. And I didn't know that Easy had covered it. I hadn't been over there in a while, and I don't know when he covered it, but I didn't go very far back on, on any past lives, especially anything to do with true crime lately, because like I said, I kind of stepped away from it. So if he did cover it, I don't really know much about it. And yeah, I'm just curious. Don't think the brother has been to trial for his charges yet. Okay. Yeah, let me see. Trying to read this one. Paul Paul Ferguson allegedly taunted his younger brother with a frozen pizza. Oh my gosh. So he is just as guilty because he sat there and taunted his starving brother. Wow. Oklahoma Child Protective Services investigated Vander Ark for similar abuse allegations between 2009 and 12 and recommended her parental rights be terminated. Yet they were never terminated. Wow. So the father was living in Florida when the alleged abuse was happening in Michigan. And then after her arrest, her husband filed for divorce in full custody of the 7-year-old boy who they had, Adam Vander Ark, however, died in February after a battle with leukemia. Oh my goodness, this family. Okay, yeah, so the mother is charged with open murder and first-degree child abuse. Sorry, I'm reading on another site real quick just to kind of get an idea of what's happening with Paul. Proceedings in Paul Ferguson's case are on hold while prosecutors determine what Vander Ark's next move is. Paul Ferguson has been cooperative throughout the investigation and will testify against Vander Ark at trial if needed, which we know that he did, or I can say that he did. But okay, I'm going to let this finish playing.
An autopsy found he died from malnourishment and hypothermia.
We had a combined Easter basket that year, and so I had divvied it out between everybody, and he stole some that was with cheese, and I don't remember if it was Paul's or mine, but he'd already had his portion of it.
So taking candy from an Easter basket means that he gets watched and can't have any privacy anywhere except the bathroom, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, keep going.
And I told him to go to his room when I did. I brought him downstairs with me, so his sneaky butt escaped.
You don't remember sending these text messages?
No, sir.
No memory from this time period?
No, sir.
Because of all the blackouts, all the tunnel vision, all the PTSD, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So she tried to blame this on blackouts and tunnel vision and PTSD. Do I have that right? Okay. Hi, Frankie H. Welcome in. I can't remember if the mom or brother called, but one of them did. Oh, okay. Hi, Grandmammy Annie. Welcome in. Frankie may know more of the details. Yeah, I came across this and I just had to talk about it and see, and I'm glad that you guys are here and you are familiar with it because, like I said, it was on my feed. And I just started watching clip after clip. It led me to TikTok where people were talking more about it there. Obviously, I missed all of this, but it is a very sad and tragic story. Very, very sad.
He said he never asked, but I've mentioned before you need to take him downstairs when you go to the bathroom so he can't escape. That was what you said, though, right?
Yes, sir.
You actually used the phrase escape in relation to your 15-year-old child.
It's as if this mother has no remorse or even awareness for the heinous acts which she is being accused of.
No, sir.
Well, who else needs to escape but a prisoner?
The evidence presented against Vander Ark is compelling. She is about to come face to face with her disgusting deeds.
And you were observing that ice bath from work, right?
I glanced in on it. I wasn't observing the whole time. I couldn't.
You weren't observing the entire time?
Not the entire time. I glanced in on it.
Whenever you'd send a text message, you were also looking at the camera, weren't you?
No, I wanted Paul to think I was.
And Mr. Johnson asked you if you remember the text about, honestly, tell me if you think this is all fake. Remember that?
Vaguely.
You vaguely remember that text?
Yes, sir.
So you can remember the text where it tries to provide you with a defense to this, but you can't remember any of the horrible things that you did to Timothy. Is that your testimony here today?
Look at her face. Her face is just like she knows what the hell she did. I'm sorry.
I don't have any control over what I can remember and what I don't, sir.
You do, though. You know what the hell you did. Oh my gosh. Grandmammy Annie, how are you, dear? Oh, this case is mind-boggling.
You recall Paul's testimony yesterday about what he did in response to that photograph that he sent you and about saying we really need to feed him, Mama? I think we actually need to feed him, I believe is the actual text.
Yes, sir. I remember his testimony.
And what was his testimony?
That he gave him peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and I guess he cooked him some eggs.
That was the first time you heard about that, wasn't it?
Yes, sir.
And that was not his instructions, was it?
No, sir, but that was fine. I had no problem with that
Well, why did you just tell him to make him some eggs in the first place then?
because I didn't think of it. I was in the middle of something.
I think we actually need to start feeding him, and the only thing you can come up with, instead of Paul thinking to give him scrambled eggs, is give him some bread. That's all you could think of.
It's, I mean, I don't know. I was in the middle of something. I wouldn't have thought of eggs anyway, not in the middle of the day.
It's not the point of you thinking about the eggs in the middle of the day. It's the freaking point of feeding your freaking child who is clearly malnourished. That's the point here, lady. I'm so glad the judge handed her as he exceeded the court's recommendation for punishment. Yeah, I was reading about that. Like, thank God. Oh my gosh. Paul seems really scared of his mom. He does, but I am glad that he did testify. And I mean, if he taunted his brother and he's way older, like he clearly knew what the hell he was doing too. So I am anxious to find out what is going to happen with Paul because he was just as guilty in my opinion. I mean, I don't know the entire backstory of like his upbringing, but either way, like, yeah, I don't know. It's just horrible. Right. That's what I think. That's what I think. All the kids were treated poorly. You're doing okay. Trying to make your weirdo Wonderland map. This was a terrible case of torture. Yes, it was. It really was. I seem to be one of the only people who haven't come across it, but y'all, when I said I took a break from true crime, I really did. And even my feed wasn't really showing me a lot of true crime, and so I was surprised to come across this today, honestly.
You testified that you gave Timothy a warm bath the night before he passed away, that last night, July 5th. Do you recall that?
Yes, sir.
That was the first time you told anybody connected to this case that you'd done that, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
You never told the police officers you did that, did you?
No, sir.
I imagine a warm bath sounds just like, it's just what it sounds like, right? You got him, you took him to the bath, you grew a warm bath for him, and you put him in the bathtub, right?
Yes, sir.
This is hours before he dies, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I think this is the part where she sees these pictures and reacts to it as she should.
You look like that when you put him in the bathtub?
Prosecutor Matt Roberts showed pictures of the teenager's frail body to Vander Ark in court on Thursday afternoon, and she began to throw up. Vander Ark is said to have covered the house and the tiny closet Timothy was sleeping in with motion sensors, alarms, and live feed cameras. Vander Ark did not turn up to the trial on Friday due to a medical issue, but a jury found her guilty of first-degree murder and first-degree child abuse in her absence. She is due to be sentenced on January 29th and faces life in prison. Rest in peace, Timothy.
Dang. That whole thing speaks volumes. Let me see something. Trying to fix this. Okay. It's fine. I'm not sure exactly what this one is yet. Paul seems a bit mentally challenged as well. He does. I will say that. He does definitely seem like he's dealing with some kind of mental issues, but oh my goodness, like he was just as complacent. If he was torturing his little brother with food, knowing that he needs to eat, And then Frankie says, yes, he's guilty too, right? When she fake vomits. Yeah, I think it's all her guilt and the realization of what's really about to happen to her come into reality that made her react that way. That's just my opinion. Okay, let's see what this is.
Were outraged. Court TV viewers who watched the trial of Timothy Ferriter were outraged. How could a father lock his own son?
Wait, this is the one where I had to forward a little bit to get to this. Okay.
Convicted and sentenced to 5 years in prison. But tonight, we take a look at a mother accused of behavior that makes Ferriter's conduct seem mild. Shonda Vander Ark also had a teenage son with special needs. His name was Timothy. Prosecutors say Timothy was forced to sleep in a locked closet with an alarm. He was denied food, forced to take ice baths, and was found dead inside the home.
Okay,
Forced
wait.
to sleep in a locked closet with an alarm. He was denied.
In this picture right here, you can see a person right here with a mask on. Does anyone know if this photo is like from a crime scene or is this like someone in his family? He understands he is guilty and wants justice for Timothy, in my opinion. Oh, well, I mean, if that's the case, that would be amazing because of the fact that he knows it was wrong. He understands that he's guilty, like you're saying, and he wants justice. That poor Timothy. A real mom would have vomited 6 months before seeing her son decimated and cared and helped him. Right. And not subjected him to the torture that she did. You don't do that to anyone that you love. Anyone that you don't love, you don't do that to. Like, this is just ridiculous.
Denied food, forced to take ice baths, and was found dead inside the home in 2022. At the time, 15-year-old Timothy only weighed 69 pounds.
Sorry about the ads. I don't have premium yet.
Also say Shonda enlisted the help of Timothy's older brother, Paul, to help torture him. Tonight, we take a look at what happened inside this home in Muskogee, Michigan. Listen to the testimony of Paul as he testifies against his mother as we investigate the torture and death of Timothy Ferguson.
I'm Vinnie Politan. Thank you for joining us tonight here on Closing Arguments. I'm going to tell you up front, this hour, it's going to be dark. This is going to be a dark hour because of what we are going to talk about. But I think it's important. I think it's extremely important to expose what is alleged in this case and what happened to this child. Because there are other children who need our help. Because there's a lot of bad mothers out there. Think about these two hated mothers. Lori Daybell and that woman from Central Florida. Track record already before any of the dark things you're going to hear about in this program happened. And I think at some point we have to have the discussion about why was she permitted to be in this child's life? How did that happen? But tonight we're going to focus on what happened, how it happened, and what the details are to really try to get some grasp for just how depraved this woman allegedly is and the way she treated her son with special needs. This is interesting. At the beginning of the show, I like to, in these relationships, but there's not even a photo of the victim here. Could you imagine having a child and not having like 1,000 pictures everywhere?
For real, that's like red flags, big time. The only photos that we could really see were whenever he was young. I did find one TikTok video, but I found it on my phone and I'm on my PC, but you could see like the back of one of the pictures that the lawyer presented to her in court, and you can see how tiny and like bony he was, and it's so heartbreaking. Sorry for Nightbot spamming my chat there. My bad.
Can't really locate a picture of this child other than after He died. And those pictures we cannot show on television. Cannot. But not even a photo. And to me, that's a great, that's a great litmus test, right? I mean, oh, if they were here the whole time, you should have a whole bunch of pictures. You know, especially when they're young and growing up. You want to, you mark birthdays, holidays, and sometimes you just mark a moment. That wasn't the case. Has taken some sort of a deal and is testifying against his mother and is outlining.
Oh, so that's interesting. So they're saying that he took some kind of a deal and testified against his mom. I wonder what the details of that deal is. Yeah, that's the part I don't get, is why she had Timothy at all in her home. Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, it seems that she shouldn't have had any of her kids.
Some of the things that were happening to this child. It's awful. I don't know where this comes from. And that's one of the things we're going to try to understand tonight. How this evil can exist, where it comes from, how to spot it, and hopefully how our system can do something to protect our children. Right? Every night at the end of this program, I say,
the system is definitely broken. Like, our system definitely needs to be rebuilt from the ground up, because there are so many cases where CPS drops the ball. They give back kids to parents that later down the road something happens to these children, such as Harmony Montgomery, Oakley Carlson. There's so many. Summer Wells, you have to wonder what happened. I mean, CPS was involved there in the Wells home. So it's like, the system just needs to be fixed. My son hates pictures taken of him. He gets it from me, though. My son does also, but I try to snap him as often as I can, and I don't care what he says. Like, if we're on vacation and all that, like, I will try my best to get as many pictures as I can. He's an adult now, but it's like he's always hated him after a certain age. It's like he didn't want no more pictures, but I still try to take them because that's memories. Hey, FarQ, how are you? Since the C word, CPS sucks. I mean, but it's even before that, because I think Harmony's case was like 2019, if I'm not mistaken. So, I mean, either way, though, I see what you're saying. Like, it probably got worse after the whole C incident, yeah. But they need to be revamped.
Don't forget to hug the kids. The kids. That means all the kids out there, right? And when I say hug, I mean keep an eye out. Let's protect the children. We're the adults. We're the adults in the world. That's our responsibility, to take care of the children. So if you see or know of a child that is in danger, in need of help, that's our job. Whether it's a phone call or whether it's physical intervention, whatever.
Yes. Also keep that in mind. Always, always, always. You know something, if you see something, say something. I know how hard that can seem to be sometimes, especially if it's like a family member or something. But I mean, hey, it's about these kids. So if you know something, if you see something, definitely say something. Don't hesitate. You could save a child's life. I agree. Or put them in horrible foster care homes. Oh, goodness, yes, they do. They put them in really horrible foster care homes. I'm okay, been sick. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Far. I hope that you're feeling better soon, and I am so sorry to hear about your dad. Oh, that was so recent. I send my prayers out to you, my condolences. I'm so sorry. Stay strong. I'm not even gonna, there are no words, but just that I am sorry and that my prayers go to you, and that sending you love and strength, girl, because I know that's hard. The saying, it takes a village, is so true. We all got to do our part. Yes. So if you are in a public place and you see a child being physically, mentally abused, or if you're in someone's home and you know these people and you know something that they're doing is wrong, report it. Do your part. Call it in. Be anonymous if you have to. Whatever it takes to save these children, do it. We have to do our part. Hey, Michael, how are you? Good afternoon. Oh, you can't see. Oh, Far might be on my other channel because I am streaming to both of my channels right now. So, Far, let me drop you my link of where most of my chat is right now because this is I have a backup channel, a second channel that I started for random topics, games, and fun lives. But I came across this today when I was like waking up. So I was like, while I do my Monday morning catch up or whatever, I'm just going to go ahead and talk about this case because it was just bugging me. It was horrible. But I dropped the link to my video, and that's where Far is. Yeah, Far. Everyone's over here on my other channel. My main channel is kind of at the moment. It's in limbo, but it's still there. And I wanted to stream to both because this is true crime. And I'm also just doing a check-in with all of my people. And some people don't know about my main channel. So I just stream to both so that I can have all of my audience and all of my people. Okay, let's see what else he's going to say.
Where it is. And that didn't happen for this child. And it's hard to fathom. Judge Ashley tonight has the full story of Shonda Vander Ark, the woman accused of doing horrific, horrible things.
Hey, you have an hour this week, right? Yeah.
Good old ads. Gosh, I need to get premium so bad. Sorry, y'all. Hold on.
Shores, Michigan.
Horrible things.
Norton Shores, Michigan police respond to an emergency call at 4788 Marshall Road. There they find 15-year-old Timothy Ferguson dead inside the home.
If you do this job long enough, you're going to see a lot of things that are very disturbing, are disgusting.
According to police, Timothy had special needs. He was severely malnourished, and there was evidence of abuse.
It's clear that this wasn't the first time that our victim, this 15-year-old, had suffered the hands of neglect and abuse.
Timothy Ferguson's mother, Shonda Vander Ark, and his older brother, Paul, were arrested. Investigators described how they say Timothy's family members brutalized him.
As punishment, our 15
So when they say family members, Sip It on Fire and Frankie, if you're still listening, I know that Easy probably covered this like in great detail. So do y'all know if anyone else was living in the home besides the mom and Paul, the older brother, and Timothy? I know the dad was in Florida. Was there anyone else in the home that you guys know about? Just curious. And yes, I do this sipping. Oh my gosh. And then I tell myself, just get the freaking YouTube premium. But I refuse to right now. So, yes, this really was horrific. Far, did you make it over to this side? If you wanted to join the chat on Vibing with Daisy Mae, I dropped the link a little bit above. If you want to join me, join where everyone else is. But if not, it's okay. You can't remember. It's okay, Sippin'. Hi, Rapper. How are you? Behave, please. That's all I ask. But yeah. So I don't know if anyone else was living in the home, but I do know that it was the mom, the oldest son, and Timothy.
year-old was subject to ice baths, was subject to not being fed food other than bread or bread soaked in hot sauce.
And neighbors.
Bread soaked in hot sauce. Oh, that is so frustrating. I'll drop it again for you. Oh, you know what? I'm dropping it in my, that's why you can't find it. Hold on, girl. I got you. It's because I'm dropping it in my, other chat. Thinking you can see it. Hey, I see you. Okay. Oh, and I'm not a mod there. What the frick? Why? Okay. I have to log in. Hold on, y'all. Technical difficulties. Let me just log into my other account real quick so I can do this. And yes, my keyboard is loud. Oop. Okay. So this one. Okay. Okay. So there you go. That's where we're all watching on my second channel. Sorry about the confusion. Okay, let's see. You're watching the Crumbly case. I've watched some of it, but not a lot of it, but that case is crazy too. Okay, so Frankie says yes, there was a young kid, he was 2. Okay, so that's the one I was reading about earlier, where the father in Florida did get custody of him, and he was 3 at the time, but the dad was able to get him. Today is my grandfather's birthday, but happy birthday to your grandfather. If mother and father get convicted, 15 years, I believe. Well, the mother, for the Crumbly case. Okay, 15 years. And what is Crumbly getting? He's getting tried as an adult, right? Welcome, Far. Okay, we're going to continue with this one so I don't get too confused and too off topic, but
Spoke off camera with local station WXMI about the family.
It seemed like she was just, she's really to herself a lot.
According to the neighbor, Vander Ark and her family had lived in Norton Shores for a couple of years.
She doesn't come out much. Kids don't come out often at all.
Investigators say Vander Ark moved to Michigan from Oklahoma, where she had been investigated by child welfare authorities.
Instead of having her parental rights terminated, she voluntarily left the house. And from what we can tell, that's where the case kind of ended.
2 weeks after her arrest, Shanda Vander Ark was in a Muskegon County.
okay. So let me hear that again.
Well, that's where the case kind of ended.
2 weeks after her arrest, investigated by child welfare authorities.
Instead of having her parental rights terminated, she voluntarily left the house. And from what we can tell, that's where the case kind of ended.
2 weeks.
So she didn't have her parental rights violated. Instead, she volunteered to leave the home, and they kind of ended the case there. Like, you trusted the fact that she says, "Oh, I'm gonna stay away." That's crazy. I don't know if Rapper made it, but Rapper, if you're listening and you're on my other channel, there's a link there. You should be able to click on it, and you can come over to this channel if you would like to.
Weeks after her arrest, Shanda Vander Ark was in a Muskegon County courtroom facing homicide and child abuse charges. And in an unexpected twist, it turns out she was no stranger to the courtroom.
I know that the defendant was working as a law clerk for the Waco Circuit Court. My understanding is right up to the point that she was arrested.
Vander Ark pleaded not guilty and is being held without bond. At her hearing, her attorney hinted at a possible defense.
I wanted to kind of see what this video is about. Okay, never mind.
There is a potential blackmail in this case to the allegations.
Timothy Paul is also charged with child abuse and is expected to testify against their mother.
And he did testify today, and we'll hear some of that testimony, some of the inside look inside that house of horrors for this child. There was a word that was used there by one of the detectives: neglect. Child neglect is one thing. This is beyond neglect. This is like going out and doing things to torture a child, not just like not pay attention to the child. We've seen those cases as well, usually with small babies. This
I think I just kicked myself from my own stream, and I don't even know how. I was just typing in chat. Well, oh, thank you, Flora. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yes, she worked for this courthouse. So they did her trial in the courthouse that she worked in. Oh, that's interesting. And Rapper, I see that you say you're blocked on this account on that one. Well, you have 200 accounts, and sometimes you come in, and sometimes you're good, and sometimes you're annoying and horrible. And today you're behaving, so you're good. We can still see your comments. Like I can see them. But just behave. And sorry, y'all. It completely ended my little stream thing I was watching because I left the StreamYard. I left my own StreamYard. What the hell? Okay.
In Rogers, Arkansas, host of the Hidden Killers podcast, Tony Bruschi is back with us. And in Jacksonville, Alabama, forensic death investigator, professor of forensics at Jacksonville State University, and host of the Body Bags podcast, Joseph Scott Morgan. Thanks, guys, for being here. Tony, you cover a lot of these stories, killers, right? And I mean, have you come across the level of depravity, torture, and evil that we're hearing about in this case?
Unfortunately, the answer is yes to that, but this is one that certainly ranks up there where it's just so hard to fathom. And there are very few words to describe the level of darkness that one must have within their soul to be able to bring this kind of trauma upon your own child. The word evil is thrown around quite a bit. I don't know a better word for it, but this is such malevolent behavior. It defies any sort of logic for those of us who are healthy, normal individuals who love our children.
Joseph Scott Morgan, we have covered so many cases through the years, and some terrible mothers, some terrible...
Oh, this had to be a horrible case for them. Okay, so Rapper, I'm looking in my YouTube studio, and I have the same picture that you have right now, but the name is Mr. Nice Guy. Is that you? Just wondering. But go ahead and try to click on the link now, Rapper, and see if it works. But yeah, so let me see. I'm gonna share this out instead. If most of you are pretty familiar with this case, but if anybody's on replay that wants to watch what I was just showing, that's the link for that. Okay, sorry y'all. I'm trying to do too many things at once. And Rapper got me all okay. Let's see. Well, Rapper, why do you have a different picture now? Like, I'm so confused. You have a whole different picture than you did in the other one. This was your other one. Did you switch accounts that quick? Really? Anyway, how was everyone's weekend? I hope you guys had a great weekend and you have an amazing week. So this was an article that I had found. So the year after, this is just saying when they were awaiting trial. So Timothy Ferguson lay lifeless inside a cold and dark closet known as his bedroom. His ribs, visible through the skin, showed signs of malnourishment. He weighed 69 pounds when he was found dead by his mother last summer. Timothy was autistic as well and speech and motor impaired. For at least the last year he was alive, Ferguson endured various types of disturbing punishment at the alleged hands of his mother and older brother, according to court records. Let me see what this one says. So apparently the mom is the one who found him, quote unquote. I mean, she knew where he was the whole time, but so it was the teen's body was discovered around 6:30 a.m. Wednesday, July 6th at a home in Norton Shores. The male teen appeared to be extremely malnourished and there was evidence of abuse. No, sir. No ads. So, yeah, that's wild. The boy was force-fed bread soaked in hot sauce and left in ice baths for hours. And then he was restrained with shackles and zip ties. Oh, my God. So they reviewed hundreds of pages of court documents and transcripts from prior proceedings. I can imagine the trial was probably really, really, really long. Her name is Dolly, really? Okay, Zippin. Mom was the one that found him. Okay, so enough about this case because it was just so heartbreaking and just terrible. Okay, so for those of you in here that know Resto, I'm going to drop his link for his channel. Oh, wait, let me make sure. Oh, okay. It did it on both of them, but that's fine. He is going to have his merch store up and running pretty soon. Like, it's supposed to be today. I'm hoping he pops up here soon and says, hey, it's open. But I do have the link to the merch store. And if you guys... Okay, so what he did was pretty freaking brilliant. What we did one live was he did a drunk live and then he ordered shirts while drunk. So he didn't remember all the shirts he ordered. There was like 13 shirts total, and it was random stuff that we were just kind of coming up with on the top of our head. I didn't remember half of them. I had smoked. I was tired. And so what he did was private the live, and he didn't watch that part. And then he had these shirts actually designed. And then this past Friday, he did a shirt reveal on how the designs came out. Some were like, what? But it goes off of what prompts he put in for them to design the shirts in. So it ended up being really hilarious. There was actually some really awesome designs that came out of it. So a bunch of them will be on the store, and I'm excited for it. So yeah, definitely keep an eye out for his community page. Thank you for subbing for. He has some really fun lives. He's all about making YouTube fun again. And that's kind of where I'm going with like this channel. It's just like me and Micah. Some of you know Micah. She lives with me and she also has her own channel, but we just try to do fun lives, fun, hang out, laugh, have some topics, talk about nonsense, whatever it may be. We want to do more board games. There's some trivia games I want to get, but like just fun things like that, just to kind of do different, on YouTube. There's way too much drama. There's way too much negativity. So my goal is to like make this channel fun, even if it's just checking in on a Monday and saying hello and going over a case that I came across and talking it out with you guys. And, I'm just glad I'm here for it. Let's see. Lauren, good afternoon. How are you? I hope that you're having a great Monday too. My day's not too bad. I do sound a little nasally. I have been sounding like this for about a week now. I'm not really sneezing and I don't really have a lot of allergy symptoms going on. So don't ask me what's wrong with my nasal system here. Like it's doing its own thing. But when I'm on the phone or anything, everyone's like, oh my God, are you sick? I'm just like, I don't have any symptoms. I just sounded like I don't get it. But yes, Frankie Resto, I love his channel. It's so amazing. This is very true, y'all. Speaking about dogs and stuff, that we have a local shelter not far from here, and some of the animals there, it just breaks my heart. My son did rescue a cat from there, but they had so many cats that were just like strays and drop-offs and what have you, and it's sad how cruel humans can be to animals. I forget if I asked if you do. I want to do music trivia. I want to do all kinds of trivia, Rapper. I'm going to be doing many different games and stuff on here. I just have to get things lined up to where I can start ordering the games I want. There's a really fun game that we play over on Stone's channel. Let me drop his link while I'm at it. Most of you may already be following him, but and on Mel's channel. But that one's called Brain Fart, and that's my favorite, and I want that one. So that way we can have like open panel nights where we just play games and have fun. So Name That Tune would be fun and funny. That would be, but I wonder if it would give me a copyright strike. Copyright claims are fine, but I wonder if it would strike my channel. You know what I mean, Lauren? I don't know. I have to look into it. Glad people are trying to make YouTube fun again. I do cat rescue, Daisy. Humans are the cruelest animal. Oh, you do cat rescue. Okay. Yeah, so that's how my son got his. Like, we went to the shelter and we picked him out, and he's amazing. He's a Maine Coon. He's a beautiful cat. Play like only the first 4. Yeah, that could work. Name That Tune. I'm going to have to look into that, Lauren. Thank you. Because I am looking for different ideas, like me and Micah. Yeah, we tend to smoke our Mary Jane, and then we get these bright ideas of, hey, let's go live, and we're high while live, and it's freaking hilarious. Sometimes we're on here for 3 or more hours and don't remember half the stuff we're talking about, and it's just it's crazy, but it's fun. But yeah, I definitely want to do more games. Cards Against Humanity is really fun too. We've played that on Stone's channel. If you have enough people with the decks or even the expansion packs, you can play it. And the only thing you can't do is obviously give your cards over to the card czar at the moment. But what we've done is whoever is the card czar, all of the rest of the people read their response and the person picks their best ending. So yeah, we played Cards Against Humanity. That is hours and hours of laughs and funs. So, and real life streams are fun too. So whenever y'all say like in real life streams are fun too, do y'all mean just like how I was describing what me and Micah do, like just random and just us being unfiltered, raw us. That's what we do. And then we were thinking about like Mardi Gras is coming up, and there's gonna be like parades and stuff, and like the parades and stuff are pretty interesting. They get kind of wild down here. Not as wild as New Orleans, but they do get wild. And we were thinking about going maybe to a parade and streaming. So that might be a possibility. Oh, yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, like taking people along for the ride. We don't really get out a lot. Honestly, because it's so freaking boring around here. But yeah, we're thinking about going to a Mardi Gras parade. Number one issue I have with Mardi Gras parades now is because they're so dangerous. They used to be super fun. We used to go all the time when we were younger, but nowadays you just hear about like stabbings or fights that break out, or we haven't had like shootings or anything crazy that I know of. But just like people getting trampled over because people were fighting over beads and candy. Like, come on, guys. It's not that serious. And so things like that, like, you know, now that I'm older, but I could still stream and kind of stand back and just get all the crazy, just kind of be a people watcher. So yeah. Maybe a better name for it would be POV stream instead of in real life stream. Maybe. Either way. I knew what you meant now. I gotcha. My mom got her phone stolen a couple of years ago from Mardi Gras. Yeah, Mardi Gras is insane. And the people that are not from here that say, oh, I want to go to New Orleans one year for Mardi Gras. I've lived here all of my life. And I would never, and never have I ever attended a Mardi Gras parade in New Orleans. It's just not a place you want to be. It's kind of like New Year's Eve in Times Square. Like, you just, if you're from there and stuff, you usually don't do it because it's really freaking crazy and wild. So that's why I don't. Even taking people to places that are super unique to the area. Oh yeah, so there's this campground. It's a state park that's not far from me. The only problem is that I would probably lose signal at some point. But there's a nature trail I wanted to do, and there's also like the pier that goes over the water, and you can see like the cypress trees over the lake, and it's really pretty. And that's something that I want to do. I just hope that I don't lose signal. So, but yeah, I'm trying to think other areas that are super unique to me. I don't live in a culture rich area of the state, but there are other areas that I could think about doing. A cemetery stream? Girl, I'd be scared on my own stream. For real. I would be super, well, it depends. I'm automatically thinking at night. But we do have some really interesting cemeteries because we have the cemeteries that have like the huge, I don't know what they're called, but they're like stacked on top of each other kind of thing. And then we have one year where we had a lot of flooding, and some of them were like coming up not out of the ground, but like getting loose, and it was just super creepy. Does anyone know if there has been an outcome to Mother Crumbly trial? Rapper said he was watching it. I don't know if there's been an outcome yet. It really would be fun, Lauren. I have to say it would be fun. You and Micah ghost hunting. Oh! All you would hear is screaming. That's all you would hear. But it would be fun. Like just going right around at night, find a cemetery, park our car, and go into, oh my goodness. The ideas are endless. You're welcome, Farah. Let me look it up real quick just in case. Crumbly mom. Let's see. Okay. So this was Monday. This is today's updated today. Jurors in the manslaughter trial of Jennifer Crumbly. Hold on. I'll share it with you real quick. So it says jurors in the manslaughter trial of Jennifer Crumbly, the mother of the teenager who killed 4 people at a Michigan high school in 2021, concluded their first day of deliberations Monday. The novel legal case stands as a test of the limits of who's responsible for a mass shooting. So it just says concluded their first day of deliberations today. Hey, Tattooed Angel. How are you, hon? Good to see you also. Good to see you. It's been a minute. How have you been? I just want a spirit box that goes ghost hunting with a friend should be a bloody laugh. Wow, 4. Okay, so 40, yeah, you have a channel, right? If anyone in here has a channel, type the word link drop at the bottom and it will drop your channel automatically for others to be able to find you. But yeah, it looks like maybe, yeah, they're still deliberating and maybe a hung jury. So they deliberated for more than 6 hours on Monday and asked 2 questions of the court. First, the jury asked the court to clarify language in the jury instructions, and the judge sent a note telling the jury to reread a specific section of the instructions. And second, the jury asked whether they could infer anything from evidence or witnesses not presented at the trial, specifically the shooter or those who could answer how he got the gun. The judge brought the jury back into the courtroom to answer no and reminded them they can only consider the evidence presented at trial. Okay, so they wanted to know the answer on how he got the gun. Didn't the parents buy him the gun? That's what I remember. I remember the parents being the ones who bought the gun, right? Oh, you're still good, girl. I was just saying, if y'all are here, like Tattooed Angel, I know you have karaoke nights and stuff. If you type in link drop, I'll do it just to show y'all. But if you just type in the word link drop, all one word, all lowercase, no spaces, it will drop your channel link for those that might want to sub up to you. Okay, so the jurors will resume deliberations Tuesday morning. The jury's decision must be unanimous to reach a verdict. So, yeah. I hadn't really been keeping up with it, but I remember when it happened. I remember the parents fleeing, and we were like, where in the hell are the parents going? Oh, and rest in peace to the victims. This is so sad. Still listening, but listening. I said it all crazy. Oh my gosh, I said that all crazy. Still listening, but mommying. I got you, girl. Oh, thank you for this reminder for Harmony's trial starts tomorrow. I am probably going to stream it on just my main channel, not here, not on Vibin, but on my regular one, because I have been wanting to watch that trial. Thank you for that. So the mom admitted she was the last to handle the gun, I thought, before giving it to him. Wow. Either way, the parents are responsible for giving him the gun, period. 4, do you know if, let me see, is it going to be on, I'm pretty sure it'll be on Court TV, right? Oh, yeah, like it says. They have a trailer coming soon to Court TV in 2024. Idaho versus Brian Kohlberger. Chad Daybell, which is the Doomsday Prophet. Then they have Florida versus Courtney Clinton, OnlyFans, Model Murder, Karen Reed, Delphi. There's a lot coming up. Let's see what else they have. I just saw that they had one. Let's see. Sorry, y'all. I'm looking for. I just saw that Adam Montgomery one. Jennifer Comley trial, final arguments. That was 3 hours ago. Harmony Montgomery murder trial preview. Let's see what this one. Okay, so I'm gonna drop this link, but I am probably gonna be streaming it on my main, just my main, not the Vibin, for Adam Montgomery's trial, because that starts tomorrow, and I definitely want to watch that one. Yes, there are lots of big trials coming up this year. The Idaho case is going to be wild. Okay, let's see. Okay, February 6th. Jury selection now will start on February 6th with the final pretrial hearing in the case scheduled for 9 a.m. on January 16th. What? Okay, wait, no. Let me read this one. Sorry, y'all. So, start of Adam Montgomery's murder trial delayed until February. So, this is an older article. So it says will start on February 6th. Yeah, that's tomorrow for sure. So thank you for reminding me. So yeah, it says here, jury selection was set to begin on November 20th. Jury selection now will start on February 6th. So is that just jury selection? I'm so confused on if it's the actual trial or if it's just the jury selection tomorrow. Adam Montgomery seeks to block purchases of lime tools in murder trial. Did he really seriously try to block that evidence from being presented? Homeboy, you're guilty of it. What the hell? I don't know where that article went, but okay. But yeah, so I'm trying to find it. Yeah, if I can find it for see, this is the case that okay, so in 2022, I want to say, or 2021, someone mentioned to me, they were like, have you heard of the Delphi case? And I was like, no, what's that? And she was like, just look into it. It's horrible. And they still haven't found, like, it's still unsolved. So I started looking into it, watched like a bunch of documentaries. I listened to a bunch of podcasts, and the story is very, very disturbing. And now I'm completely lost because I thought that they had found the guy, and then it turned out that he wasn't the guy, and they ended up being someone else. And then now there's something about a cult or something. Like, I am so confused with the Delphi case. Maybe that trial is one I need to watch, because with trials you can get a better understanding of context from beginning to end. So far, if you know when that trial starts, or I'll be keeping an eye on it too, because like I said, I was just looking on Court TV and they were saying that all of these trials are coming up this year. So I'm going to be looking forward for it for sure, just so I can know more about it. But I'm trying to find anything. Next live trial. Okay, so let's see what this one says. I'll present this one. So they'll do jury selection tomorrow and then go on with the trial. Could take days. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Sometimes it can take days to pick a jury. I'm definitely just gonna have to keep my eye out for that one because that's one I really want to watch. But let me present this real quick, and then I'm probably gonna go ahead and call it a day. But this is just a short, and it just says that the Harmony Montgomery trial is the next trial.
Harmony is a sweet and innocent child who deserves to be brought home to her family and friends.
You're not in any trouble right now that I know of. Okay, we have no warrants. Okay, so where's your daughter so we can check on her to make sure that she's okay? Right now, I'm not going to say anything.
Can you tell me that she's alive? You're going to play the same word games that you played with me the other day. It's not word games. I got nothing.
Because we care, man. We want to know. Why is it you have so much trouble talking about Harmony?
Guys, I got nothing else to say.
Mr. Montgomery has been charged with the following 4 crimes. Second-degree murder for recklessly causing the death of Harmony Montgomery by repeatedly striking Harmony in the head with a closed fist.
So you just need to find out where she is. I have nothing to say.
5-year-old Harmony Montgomery disappeared in 2019.
Now, her own father stands trial for her brutal murder.
The murder of Harmony Montgomery trial. Live coverage this week on Court TV.
Yeah, so it does start this week, guys. So I will be definitely watching out for that. And on my main channel, I went over the affidavit. Oh, that was a hard affidavit to get through with everything that Adam Montgomery and Kayla Montgomery did to Harmony with her body afterwards. It's just sickening. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and call it a day, guys. I thank y'all for joining. Again, happy Monday to all of you. I hope that you all have a great week. And I'm not sure if I'll do another live this week. If we do, it'll be a fun live. But tomorrow on my main channel, if they are airing anything like with the Harmony Montgomery trial, I will be covering it on my main channel. So you can find it here in case you're not already subbed to my main account. And that is about it. So again, thank you all for joining. I appreciate every single one of you. I know this wasn't a very long live, but it's just a little check-in I like to do every now and then, at least once a week, check in with everyone and say hi to everyone and see how you all are doing. But I appreciate you all for it. Thank you so much too. It's been a while. And yes, watch out for the trial. I'll be covering it on my main account. So, and I know it starts early, so I'm going to be getting some sleep tonight because I definitely want to cover Harmony's trial. So I'm going to work on a thumbnail and get that going. But yeah, thank you to the mods. I don't even know if I had any mods that were able to show up. But yes, thank you to the chat. Stay safe. Love and light to all of you as well. And I will see you guys around. Have a great Monday. Bye.